With that, I think I will get started. So I always say at the start of it, it seems very formal because I'm sharing a deck, but more than anything else, it's just because we've got quite a few things to cover, and I want to make sure that I don't lose, I don't miss anything that's important. But this is casual, and the point of this is that you get your questions answered. The idea is that by the end of this session, you know everything you need to in order to feel comfortable and excited about coming out on your first Wilderness Union adventure. So if you've got any questions as we go along, feel free to shout it out. I'll also make sure that there's time at the end for questions as well. My email is isaac@wildernessunion.com. It was probably on the invite for this meeting, so feel free to email me directly as well. But with that, I think we'll get started. So, all right, let's just go back here. So I'm jumping ahead. So I started Wilderness Union just about 3 years ago, because when I moved to Toronto, I wanted to get outside, and it was really hard to do it. I didn't have a car like a lot of people in the city, and that makes it almost impossible to get out and explore. I didn't really know where to go. I didn't have the gear. You know, it's difficult to keep a keep a canoe if you live in a condo. And I think hardest of all, I didn't have a community of people to do it with. I think now more than ever, Toronto feels like a pretty lonely city. And if you don't already have a group of outdoorsy people, it can be hard to find it. And I found that nothing really existed to solve it. So having figured that out for myself, I thought, well, you know, maybe other people are struggling from this as well. And I think the success of Wilderness Union really speaks to the fact that, you know, a lot of people face the same problems, and I guess that you guys are here tonight for similar reasons to why I started it. At the same time, Toronto actually has incredible access to the outdoors, and it's a funny thing about living in Toronto, but I don't feel like we do a very good job of talking about it, or frankly showing off about it. You know, everybody thinks of BC as the really outdoorsy place to go, but I was astonished to see that we have some of the most amazing wilderness on earth really close to the city. And even within the city, you can have incredible experiences. So, you know, during COVID, I started going paddling on the Humber, and suddenly felt like I was miles away from the city, even though I was right in the city. And then I got into the backcountry, started going up to Algonquin and some of those places you might know about. But actually, a lot of the times on our trips, we're only going about an hour and a half to 2 hours outside the city. And in that time, you can get onto the Shield and you can get out into the wilderness and feel like you've escaped civilization altogether. And that's something that we try and recreate on a lot of our trips, that feeling that you have properly gotten out of the city. In short, then, we exist to connect you with the wild and with other people like you. So we've been going for 3 years, as I mentioned, which means we're now at about 100 different trips every single year. And we've got about 1,000 members, most of which are actually pretty active. And everybody in the group is 18 to 45. And we vet everybody who comes in as well, because one thing that has been really crucial to Wilderness Union is actually building a proper community feel. And it's hard to do that without being too controlling of things, but also without being cheesy about it. And so we've tried to kind of create the right conditions that community can flourish. And I think that's working really well. And the idea is that you can turn up knowing nobody, and by the end of it, you will have a whole bunch of people that you can go out with. And along the way, you will have had like an awesome experience in the outdoors, and hopefully learned a bunch of stuff as well, and then felt more confidence you can get out on your own. And we see that time and time again with our members. And one of the promises we make is that you can just book a trip and show up. So I spoke about some of the barriers that existed right at the start of this. And this is really what we're trying to solve for you. So you can book a trip tonight, and then when you turn up on Saturday, Sunday, whenever it is, you can feel confident that we've figured out basically everything else out for you. So, you know, the transport, we've got expert guides who are going to meet you. We've planned everything out. You know, we thought about the weather. We thought about the wildfire smoke and what impact it's going to have, if any. So you can get out there and feel really confident that you're going to have an amazing but also safe time. So once you've booked it, we send you a whole load of information about what to expect. You get into a private Discord chat with the other people on the trip, as well as the guides, where you can ask questions about what we're going to be doing. And then on the day itself, you'll turn up and you'll actually meet both our guides and the other people on the trip. We make a real point of making sure that everybody actually gets a chance to meet everybody else. And the hope is that by the end of the day, you'll come back a little bit different. You'll feel completely refreshed. You will have hopefully seen something or learned something that you hadn't seen or didn't know before, and have a bunch of new people that you can go out with the next time on the next trip. And that's another promise that we make, is that you can come as a stranger and leave with a group of new friends. And we see that happen time and time again. Over the time running Wilderness Union, we've seen people go from, basically everybody turns up alone. We've got a few couples, and I see we've got a couple of people called Payne on the call who are potentially a couple themselves. But generally people come alone or maybe with one other person. And because, you're with a group of other people who've decided to spend their weekend, and it's normally weekends, in the same way, you tend to have a lot in common with them. And so there's a million friendship groups that have popped up because of this. But we've also had a ton of relationships come out of this. We've had our first marriage happened earlier this year. And someone else even credits us with saving their life because their mental health wasn't so good. And then they joined Wilderness Union and found just a whole other way of living, like having not really spent time in the outdoors before. So people come to us through a bunch of different directions and for a bunch of different reasons. I find a lot of the time it's people who have moved to the city. They want to get out, they don't know how. But then we also have tons of folks who've grown up in Toronto, but maybe their friendship group has moved out of the city, they've started to have kids, they've moved to the suburbs, and then they no longer have that group of people to go with. And then we also get folks who've moved from more active communities, so whether that's from Indigenous communities or out west, where it's more common to have that outdoorsy lifestyle. They want to recreate that here. And so there's a real mix of people, but everybody is there because of that love of the outdoors and recognizing like the positive benefit that it has getting out of the city, and how actually it makes the rest of your life living in the city a lot more bearable and enjoyable. We talk a lot about the adventures, but there's a ton of other stuff we do that you may already have seen if you've been on our website. So after almost every trip we have a social afterwards where we'll go for drinks or food together. That's a great way of just chilling out with the folks you've already met. But then we also often do socials in town as well. So we've got a couple of these advertised at the moment. About once a month ago, we organize kind of semi-formal socials for members who haven't come out yet to meet everybody else. I know some people feel more comfortable before going out on the trail, meeting people in town. So we do those really frequently. We've done quiz nights, we've done trivia nights, we've done picnics, that sort of thing. Then we also have a bunch of member clubs. So one of the things that really surprised me with Wilderness Union was how our members started launching their own clubs within Wilderness Union. So now we've got a really active running club, we've got a climbing club, we've got a cooking club that meets once a month. And all of these are completely free to turn up to, or if you pay anything, it's just the cost of the activity that's being organized by the members. And you'll see that there's something to do almost every single day when you become a member and join the crew. I mentioned that we have a Discord earlier, and that's also where everybody kind of comes and speaks online. So every member becomes a member of the Discord, and that's how we also share information with you about trips on the day, as well as like we've got a gear talk in there where you can ask other people like what gear should I get for this, or like a gear swap, or maybe you're a dog owner and you're looking for other people to walk dogs with. It's basically our home online. And finally, we have special events as well, a few times a year. So as a community, we all come together for, normally for New Year or an end of year celebration. We've got a big summer party happening in just a few weeks. And we tend to mark those big kind of annual milestones together. So, whether you're in it because you want the social aspect, or maybe you're more of an introvert, and a lot of our members are, and you just want to get out there and have the adventures, hopefully you'll find there's something for pretty much everybody, no matter why you're joining us. The kind of the pathway into Wilderness Union. So we have some people who join us with a ton of experience. They've grown up going to camp, they've portaged every year, and they're just looking for people to do it with. We have other people who turn up and they've never done anything with us. So every one of our trips has a difficulty rating. So you can see before you turn up what it looks like. So anything 1 to 3 stars is really easy. It's suitable for pretty much anyone, all the way up to these 5-star epic trips we do, which are really challenging. And often we see that people join us on what we think of kind of gateway trips, and we'll talk a bit about those in a minute. So the easier ones where you can kind of find your footing, get to know people, or potentially in a social. So whether that's your first experience of the rest of a group, or you go on a trip, you meet people and you decide you want to come out on a social, that kind of tends to be the next stage on the journey. We get a lot of people who, they just want to do an easy hike every now and then. They just want a way of getting out of the city, and that's fine. But then we have other folks who really get bitten by it and they want to learn the skills themselves. And so often I find that our members get excited by the skills they're learning from the guides on the trips. So we also have like dedicated skills training as well. So for example, we do foraging classes, we do navigation, we have fire starting courses, we have shelter building, pretty much everything that you can think of. And all of these are trained by like literally world-class experts. And personally, I've learned a ton from our guides and find that all our members do too. And then the culmination of all of this, I suppose, are the epics. And these are a series of really challenging trips that we do that actually are starting just at the end of this month, which are really like bucket list trips of some of the most extraordinary adventures in Ontario. So on the 30th, we're leaving to paddle the length of Algonquin from the very top down to Highway 60 over 5 days. And on that trip, I think there's going to be 14 kilometers of portage. And these are more of the type 2 fun experiences, if that means anything to you. So the ones which are maybe not so fun in the moment, but afterwards you're really glad you did them, and the kind of thing that gives you memories that last a lifetime. And the idea is you can join at kind of any point on this scale according to what you're looking for and what you're ready for. Now, you might have seen on the website, we talk a bit about membership, and I've been talking about that tonight as well. So we have 2 different types of membership. Most people join us as part of a crew. There is no cost involved to join the crew. It's really simple to sign up. You basically just create username and password, tell us if you've got any health conditions or dietary requirements we need to know about, and then you're in. And you can sign up for a trip straight away. So super simple. We've got a bunch of stuff going on this weekend, and you can get a crew membership basically immediately, as long as you're within the age brackets, and then you can come and join us. When you decide you want to go camping with us, there's like another level of vetting to just make sure that you're safe to be around everybody else, and you're going to be safe yourself. But then we also have Explorer membership. So this is for people who know that they want to do some of our more ambitious trips, or know that they're going to come out more frequently. And because some of our trips are reserved just for Explorer members. So I mentioned epics. This Saturday, we've got a really big paddle. So I think it's a 25-kilometer paddle with 4 kilometers of portage happening in a single day. It's kind of a trip that's really difficult to do. And these are exclusively available to our Explorer members. Additionally, Explorer members get, I think, 10% off pretty much every trip, and also access to our partner discount program. So we get 25% off at Fjallraven. We had 15% off at MEC last week. We often do things with Tiva. So there's actually a ton of perks to being an Explorer member. They also get to sign up for adventures a day before everybody else. And some of our trips sign up in like literally seconds or even minutes. And this allows you to kind of get ahead of the crew if this has become a part of your lifestyle. Does anyone have any questions about membership before I go on? Because I know that's often something people do have questions about.
I just had a question about the extra round of vetting for the camping trips. How does that work? Because we're signed up for the Restore, but had any vetting done?
So we asked some. So if you signed up for Restore, we would have asked you some additional questions, probably about your health and your diet. But we also sometimes ask for ID. for those trips, make sure that people are who they say they are. And then for the more challenging trips, that's where it tends to really come in, where that's also about whether you're going to be safe on a trip. So for the epics, for example, anybody we don't already know well or hasn't already been on an epic, we actually set up calls with them to make sure that they're going to be safe and they know what they're doing. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Cool. Okay, no problem at all. So with that, I'll get kind of to the exciting stuff. Anyone who's been on our website will see that we have hundreds of trips up. At the moment, we've got everything planned all the way through to September. And as I mentioned, we've got the epics starting in a couple of weeks. And we've actually still got space on a few of those if you want to jump into something really difficult straight away. But actually tonight, I thought I'd showcase some of the easier things that we do, or the more accessible things, to make it really easy just to pick something and turn up. Because what I find, a lot of people have seen us online, or they've read about us, or their friends have been raving about us, but that first step is one that's really hard to take. And once someone's been out on one trip with us, they come out on tons of trips with us and get a whole new social circle through it. And they keep coming back. Some of our members have been with us for 3 years now. So with that in mind, free trips coming up you might be interested in, and are pretty affordable as well. We've got our hike and swim at Limberlost. This is a place not that many people actually know, but an incredibly beautiful location just on the outskirts of Algonquin Park. It's all Canadian Shield, but there's very few people there. And it's an absolutely gorgeous hike that takes you up to the top of the lake, has incredible vistas. And when we're done, we all go swimming together. And at the end of it, we're also going to Kawartha Dairy Ice. We always stop and get ice cream on the way back. It's like these legendary ice creams, which are absolutely massive. So that's coming up this Saturday. Someone probably knows the dates better than me. That might actually be Sunday, the 26th, whenever that is. And that's $60 for explorers. You can get transport, I think, is an additional $50. We also have a social coming up the week after. This is the Toronto Food Truck Festival. So as I mentioned, we get together pretty frequently just to see people in town. And then there's a bunch of us meeting up at Woodbine, and just great opportunity to meet people in the city before you go out with them elsewhere. No cost to attend. Obviously, the food trucks themselves will have cost, but yeah, it should be a fun evening, and hopefully the weather's going to be decent for it. Then another one just to highlight, because it's an easier trip but great bang for your buck, is Hilton Falls. This is a trip that's only 45 minutes away from Toronto probably, but beautiful hike, waterfalls. Not that many people know it in the city for some reason. Super easy and also super affordable. So also recommend that one if you're not quite sure where to start. But if you go on our webpage, there'll be a link to that. You'll see everything that we've got coming up, and you'll find something. And if you're not sure about what's right for you, you can just drop us a message, and we'll help you out. Now, because you came tonight, we've also got a discount off your first trip. So those trips become even more accessible and more affordable. So this is going to be valid for the next 7 days until we do the next one of these, probably. If you use the code INFOWELCOME at checkout, that's all uppercase, you'll get $25 off your first adventure. If you've registered with us before, you might not be able to use it. So send us a message if that's the case. But as long as you've never been on a trip before, you'll be able to apply that and get a nice little discount on your first trip. So I will also email you guys with this afterwards, so everyone's got that in their inbox. So that about concludes the kind of formal part of this. Pick an adventure. And we'll see you out there. If you scan that QR code or just go to wildernessunion.com, you'll be able to see everything that we've got coming up. As I mentioned, you've got the discount to use for the next week. And with that, I will pass it over to you guys and ask if anyone's got any questions. Now, I should probably preface this by saying, whenever we have a big group, people don't like to ask questions. And I know that everybody always thinks that their question is stupid, but there's no such thing as a stupid question. And also, most of the time, when you ask a question, about half of the other people in the group have a question. So put your hand up, or just turn your camera on, or shout out, ask it, and chances are you'll be helping everyone else on the call as well.
question.
Go, hey, Rita.
Yeah, go on, you can go first.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, Amber.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, I had a question. Like, I don't really like hike and stuff often, but I do run and then strength training quite often, like on a regular basis. So, like, would an epic be the right fit for me to, like, I guess, like, start out with that, or would you probably suggest like starting out with a hike or like a simple day trip or something, and then signing up for an epic, I guess?
Possibly. It depends. So if you signed up for an epic today, we would chat with you and go through like your individual history of what you've done and whether you've got any medical conditions we need to be aware of, and kind of what you've done recently, and if you really understand just how challenging some of these things are going to be. We have a lot of folks actually who sound quite similar to you. So a lot of women in the group who do strength training, and they are absolutely hard as nails, and they might have never been on a trip with us before, but are some of the strongest people in the group. So there's a good chance you're ready to go. We just want to chat with you first to make sure that you're going to be safe and you're not going to put anyone else in danger as well. If you are thinking about it, you can send an email afterwards to support@wildernessunion.com, or if you're already a member, we've got a support channel in Discord, and that'd be a good question to ask about it. Good place to ask about it.
I'll do that. Thank you.
Thanks. Maria, I see you've got your hand up. I think Ruta was trying to ask a question as well. So I'll just check with you if you still got one.
Yes. So the optional transportation, is that for the shuttle that I see from Kiel Station?
Yeah, that's right. That's
okay.
right.
Okay, so the pickup and the drop off would be at Kiel, right?
Yeah, that's right. We try and leave a bit later on Sunday because it's a bit harder to get there with TTC. But we almost always go from Kiel and come back to Kiel.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Maria.
Hi, Isaac. So
Hey.
I had 2 questions. So
Sure.
first,
Yeah.
Are these events rescheduled in case if it rains or things like that? Or does it run as usual no matter the weather?
Okay, so actually good timing. So just wrote a big blog post about this today. So if you go to our blog, you get to spend 5 minutes reading a really detailed answer to that. But the short answer is we only reschedule if it's dangerous. So a lot of our best trips have actually been in kind of less than ideal weather. A lot of the time we're kind of embracing the adventure of that. But we also obviously pay very close attention to what's going on to make sure that everybody's being safe. And if you read that article, you'll get a bit of a peek behind the curtain on that. So the wildfires, for example, last weekend, we were monitoring the levels of contaminants in the air up until the morning that people went away, and then throughout the trip as well. And like sometimes we have to make a last minute call on those sorts of things. So actually on Saturday, we did unfortunately have to cancel a trip, but another one that was on Friday was okay. So we cancel a trip if it risks being dangerous, but for regular weather, no, we don't. We embrace it and often have a better time for it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, no worries at all. And you know, I'll actually just post that. I'll post that blog article in the chat as well while we're answering other questions. Katie, I see you got a question.
Hi, thanks. So I used to live in Toronto, but I don't actually live in Toronto anymore. But I don't have people to go do those big types kind of trips, which is really what I'm interested in. Do you have to live in Toronto to go on anything?
No, it's actually been one of the nice surprises about this. I thought it was going to be for people from Toronto, but we actually have people joining us all throughout Southern Ontario and even a bit further, because often it's even harder to meet your people if you live outside of a city. So a lot of those folks will actually just meet us at the trailhead.
Okay.
And we would love to have you. Where are you based?
London, so not crazy far, but no, I couldn't do like the quick drop by things.
We've actually got I think we've got 2 or 3 folks from London who they'll often join us for the epics and the camping trips where that makes sense.
Oh, nice. That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
I have a question, but I don't know how to raise my hand. Sorry.
Hey, no, you don't need to raise your hand. You just shout out.
Okay. So I'm Emily. I don't even really know if it's a question, but we have a small kid at home.
Yeah.
I guess, I guess it doesn't matter. Like you just get childcare. Do you have anything, does it matter in any way, like, or anything specific to like whether you have kids or don't have kids, that kind of thing?
So we can't bring kids on the trip, so everybody has to be between the age of 18 and 45. So you'd need to find somebody to look after your child, I'm afraid. I love the idea of eventually doing things for families, but we're not set up for that at the moment.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Thanks. Anything else from anyone else?
Oh, sorry. A friend of mine wanted to know if dogs are allowed on the trips.
Yeah, on a lot of trips they are, and we typically say on the trip whether they are. So camping trips tends to be a no-no, but the day trips, it's usually okay as long as they are well behaved and on a leash. Also, we don't have, so dogs can't travel in the shared transport, but if you're making your own way there, you're welcome to bring well-behaved dogs. We like dogs in the group.
Okay, thanks. I'll tell her.
Okay. Okay, guys. So I know that some people would rather wait until everyone else is gone before asking their questions. So I always hang on for a bit afterwards, but I'm going to start to wrap this up now. So I really want to thank you for turning up and actually listening to this. I'm excited to meet you. I'm actually guiding the trip on Saturday, the Epic Paddle, along with some other folks. I think we've actually just had one spot become available for that. This weekend, we've also got a camping trip up in Restall Provincial Park. So if you're looking for something to do, that's an awesome place to go, pretty quiet. It's a great first experience, and it's led by a lot of people's favorite guide, Kyle, who's a real survivalist expert. As I mentioned, you can use the code INFO-WELCOME, that's INFO welcome, all uppercase, to get $25 off your first trip. And if you've got any other questions, send us an email to support@wildernessunion.com. I'll just put that in the chat now. Or if you're already on Discord, you can open a ticket in Discord to get help. And you've also got my email address if you want to reach out directly. So thanks for coming. I encourage you just to sign up for one. Yeah, that's the hardest step to take, but so many people told us it's the best decision they've made since moving to Toronto or deciding they wanted to get out more. So I hope I'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.